So, here in LA, you cannot escape any of this police funeral coverage, whether it's the procession of the dude that got taken out yesterday on the freeway by accident, or this guy that got taken out by dudes claiming mental health or whatever, but they probably had a history. Like, that whole good cop myth, that's what I call it, the good cop fallacy. Not a real thing. I've been seeing a lot of videos and like a lot of the people in the chat don't care. Like, this is the type of stuff that makes you even hate cops even more. I mean, to a lot of people here in LA, because a cop kills somebody, we don't get no fucking procession. We don't get none of that.
That's a killer. That's a child killer right there. That's a murderer. Killer cop. He killed a 14-year-old. He killed a 14-year-old. You're a killer cop. You killed a 14-year-old.
You know, like even a shout out, they do what they do their whole, we investigated ourselves and found nothing wrong. But yeah, you can't get away from this. Let's see. That's this what dude right here. The dude that got shot in Palmdale. Sheriff. There's a one for yesterday. What the hell? Florida child arrested. That's like a throwing knife. You see that? But yesterday, some dude got taken out on the 405. But I have questions about that too, man. Because, yeah, it's sad, right? But he's on a patrol vehicle, right? On a motorcycle. And they say he was going to work. So that means this cop's able to take his service vehicle to and from work, to work, and on our gas fund, I guess, right? Because that horse is not like, running on air. That horse he's riding is consuming gas that's being paid by somebody. I don't think that's cool. When I used to work for certain companies, we had to leave the delivery truck, the whatever, if it was their company vehicle, they had to stay at that spot. You had a gas card or whatever. I think some of these police stations, they even have their own gas station inside of their. If I'm correct, I think I remember going to Linwood Sheriff's. I might be wrong, but I think they got like their own little pump. Rampart had their own like gas pump. You just pull up in there and they fill up their own cars and just keep pushing. So like, you just have mad resources, and at the same time, like, they're supposed to get a raise, right? This like, we're all talking about defunding the police, and they're supposed to get a raise. They've been crying over it because they're like, oh well, hopefully by the end of October they should be getting their raise. Like, the fuck, we don't. And before we get bootlickers up in the comment section, like, Chinatown has started their own community patrols, which is way more effective because obviously these fucking guys aren't effective. They're all here right now. Imagine how much crime can be happening right now. But guess what? There is no crime happening right now. The streets are chill. Look how many cops are there, right? All the resources are here at this vigil. Streets are chill. There's nothing happening on the streets right now. Is there a car chase live? Is there something happening? Nah. Car chase probably get more views than this. But for a lot of people, this is a big deal. And like when I say the good cop fallacy, it's like whenever a cop calls for backup, do you ever have a cop show up and say, hey, is this the right guy? Why is he handcuffed? It's never that. Dude calls backup shows up, and they rough you up just as much as the first dude is, and then they ask questions later on, and they come up with some story, like the one with the kid. Well, there's so many with kids. Jesus Christ, it's so bad. And that's the worst part, that these dudes are like some big ass steroided out dudes. They're choking out teens that way. Like I said, like me back in the days when I was a skater kid, I was a light 120 pounder or whatever, right? Not a threat to anybody. What's funny is I remember the moment when I went from being the little kid on the BMX, when back in the days they would give you baseball cards to try to get you on their side and get you to snitch on people. They'll try to come around and talk to you and do that whole like community outreach, get to know the people and stuff. They don't do that shit no more. But yeah, pretty much. And talk about like setting you up. Imagine like you dropped a dime on somebody that you weren't supposed to. Now your whole family like is, at risk because of something you told. You were just dry snitching, not even know that you were snitching. Like when you're a kid, like I said, I was like 10 years old. I was not a threat. I was on my BMX just going up and down the street. They'll pull up and talk to me real quick. And then by the time I turned 11, I started skateboarding. Just hopping over curves. Maybe because a skateboard's louder than a bike. I don't know, but the neighbors don't like it. So then when they will come around, they'll tell you to sit on the curb, tell you to take your beanie off, take your hat off. They'll do the whole thing where they kick your foot out, right? And you just fucking, you're a small kid, so your legs just go wide and you fall back, and then they're just holding you by by your hands, and it's fucking assholes. So that's why I don't respect any of these motherfuckers. And usually they say it's like the jocks or it's a certain personality, but most of these like deputies and officers and people that I see over here, like being Hispanic, being raza, I know those faces. So like I know like the what we call the Malia face, which is like just somebody that has that criminal look on that face. That's not the cops, and they're not the jocks either. Like a lot of these dudes are like the pretty, do-si do good student. Like the not like the trumpet or trombone player that's a fucking that's a troublemaker already in high school or middle school, but like it's a certain personality. It's like they're non-threatening people, but at the same time, that's why they fear for their own lives, because like the second they do run into somebody that's not gonna get punked over their little harassment or whatever, they lose their shit. And like there's nothing worse than like having somebody that's afraid to I mean, they shoot dogs and puppies all the time. Puppies at that. Like I've seen like videos in other countries where like there's stray dogs walking around everywhere. It's not a big deal, right? The cop sees a fucking dog loose here that's just it happened to get out of its yard or whatever, or just hopped out of the car and is happy to say hi to him. These cops, the first thing they do, shoot him. Like not even pepper spray him, not even tase him. Once I got pulled over here. Like my Wi-Fi sucks right now, so we just let it load. I got I was It was summertime, and the local school around here is a full track school, but I didn't go to a full track school. I actually graduated from continuation. Go figure, right? But I ended up long story short, they stopped me a few blocks away. They brought me back home. They went into to go knock on at my mom's house, right? My dad and stuff was inside. But as they're walking in, we had like guard dogs, like, before people would hop the fence and steal shit out of the yard. So we always had these two dogs. These fools pepper sprayed the dogs for no fucking reason. Went, knocked on the door, got my dad, and he told him like, yeah, he's off. Like, there's no track where he goes. Like, he goes to school in Commerce. He doesn't even go to school here in LA. Like, but yeah, like, and that I don't even think that was school police. I think that was just regular LAPD. One time I was gonna work, like I told you guys, I used to work for Coffee Bean. I was going to work with my uniform, and in front of that church where there's that video of skateboarding. I get pulled over, and then they're asking me for my ID and everything, and they're like, "Where are you going?" I'm going to work, dude. At that time, I was trying to catch the bus to go and catch the subway up to Hollywood. But yeah, all that. I think I was like 20 years old already. So it was like they're hassling me, thinking that I'm playing hooky with school, and it's like, dude, I'm just going to work, man. Like, so that's the type of shit I've had to deal with, which is why whenever I see this, and some of the neighbors and other people that have lived here forever, they've had to deal with that shit too. So that, like I said, whole good cop fallacy, like the good cop is the one that shows up and is like, hey, what happened? What's going on? You sure you guys got the wrong guy, the right guy, the suspect? Like, I'll put up real quick when even dispatch gets shit wrong. Like, the firefighter called in a certain description.
Hispanic male, plaid shirt, black vest, black pants, approximately 5'1". Engine 450, roger.
Dispatch catches that, passes it on to the cops. Wrong description.
Rampart units, arson suspect. Suspect male Hispanic, 5'2", wearing black clothing. Suspect is still trying to light items on fire. FD is asking code 3 and 717 3237. Units are now identified.
So, like, you know, everybody's just fucking worthless, fucking incompetent. And there's so many other situations where, like, they've been chasing a certain car, and we'll be watching it live right here on the news. And then, sure enough, the dude that wiped out and crashed, the suspect, he's on one side, and then you see the cops arresting somebody that was just trying to video it from their car.
We're also hearing from a different driver who was seen getting detained at the end of that pursuit. The pursuit suspect crashed into a white sedan. The driver of that sedan says he was on his way home from work. He had his family in the car when all this unfolded in front of him. He then got out of the car because he said he wanted to get out of the way of any possible crossfire.
It just sounded crazy, like a war zone. Blah, blah, blah. So we had to get out of the, I got out the car immediately. I don't want my son and my wife to get part of that. So as soon as I get out the car, the cops just smashed me. Start socking me up, smashing me, threw me in the back. Like if I was the dude that stole the car.
He says he was released shortly after that. We did reach out to the LA County Sheriff's Department for comment on why he was detained, and so far we haven't heard back.
Like, it's so stupid, dude, but yeah, these are the so-called heroes and shit. But on that note, I'll leave the links to those other videos over here so you guys know what's up. Till next time, peace.